How long will the blind continue to lead the blind? How long will the fools hate knowledge? And how long will the people who talk a bunch of crap keep on talking their foolishness? Greeting, Israel, Judah, brother DFG. Hey, my brothers and sisters. I wanted to take a couple of moments on this morning just to share a couple of things that's on my mind, just so that, those of you who are interested in, keeping posted the latest news, knowledge, that you will not be caught unawares. The proverb that I just quoted is from chapter 1, verse 22. And it says, how long will the simple love simplicity, the scorners love scorning, and the fools hate knowledge? And see, our book tells us, with all our getting, get an understanding. And to get an understanding, you have to have information. So I want to share a little information with you today. Several things have gone on over these last 55 days this year. I don't know about you, but I know for a lot of us, we're in the latter part of the month of February, but I'm feeling like we're almost in July, because so many events have come so fast and they're just escalating and cascalating over and over and over. And it's on my heart today just to kind of give you some things to compare and contrast. And so what I thought I would do, I would go back to the Netflix series, Leave the World Behind, with Mahershala Ali and Julia Roberts. You guys remember that. And I want to give you some things to compare and contrast. Again, I know I just said that. But if you remember in that movie, there were a lot of different events. One of the first events happening was that they lost cell phone power. Y'all remember that? The cell phones went down. And when their cell phones went down, excuse me, my arm's a little tired. But when their cell phones went down, they had no place to go. So, Mahershala Ali and his daughter, they went back where? To his home. Yesterday, what happened? According to the news, a solar flash or a solar blast or whatever they call it, solar, right, happened. And that caused, at&t and other cell companies to lose their cell connectivity. So therefore, if you had a 911, you had any kind of critical situation, you were pretty much, SOL, as the old saying goes. So that was one event. If you remember in the movie, that same thing happened. Also in the movie, remember when the young son got bit by the, looked like a tick. And now they're telling us that what? And remember, he got sick, right? And for the most part, it looked like he wasn't going to make it. He was definitely soon to be unalived, as they say. And if you recall, in that event, it was almost like, some disease coming out of nowhere attacking him. Well, they said it was a sound wave, and a lot of our brothers and sisters have been talking about the little booming sounds coming, here and there, they're hearing. But that I compare and contrast to with disease X that they're saying is coming. Then, you think about, the black guy who had the inside track in D.C. Well, yesterday in the South Carolina primaries, Republican primaries, they had Tim Scott, the black guy from D.C., the in-the-know guy. And what did he say? We all need to get behind Trump. Why? Because Trump is obnoxious and he's rambunctious. That reminds me of so that black guy, Tim Scott, the senator, reminds me of Mahershala Ali with his inside information, the black man in D.C. And then you got him promoting, hey, I know a guy, very rambunctious, very, aggressive, a guy who knows how to get things done. The Kevin Bacon character. Or, in this man's case, you're Donald Trump. The one who you can count on to stir it all up. The one who is just mean as a rattlesnake, as they say. Another compare and contrast. Then you have the situation with all the recalls on the electric cars. Y'all know about that. You remember in the movie, electric cars going out, and I'm going to put that in the thumbnail. All those cars running on their own. So bad now they can't give those electric cars away. They get $30,000, $40,000 rebates. I heard some dealerships are complaining. Dealership owners are complaining, trying to move those cars off the lot and still can't move them off the lot. I'm talking $30,000, $40,000 rebates. and still nobody wants them. Now that's a lot when you think about it. But we can also throw in, what's going on with the Houthis, with the U.S. and also the United States freight carriers, right? Being, we're going to just use the word attacked. Or you remember the White Lion, that ship that was attacked? You remember that, brothers and sisters? That ship that kind of came out of, nowhere while the family was sitting out on the beach, right? And now we have a freight ship being attacked. And if that's not enough, remember all the planes that were crashing out of the air? Well, we just had a report yesterday that passengers were on a plane, and while they were on that plane, they noted that one of the wings on the plane was actually coming apart. And that I think the flight was on its way to Boston, so they had to actually take and redirect the plane and land the plane in Denver because the passengers saw that the wing on the plane was actually coming apart. And those are a lot of comparisons if you would agree. And brothers and sisters, there is no such thing as coincidence, brothers and sisters. We guys say, well, that was just, no, it wasn't. That's the scorners I was talking about. See, the scorners want to keep the simple-minded. Don't believe them. They're conspiracy theorists. Don't believe what they have to say. But then on the backside, what we know that only someone who's not thinking clearly would reject obvious knowledge when it's hitting them right in their face. Now let me go on to one other thing and then I'm done. Let you get on back to whatever you're doing. But this whole thing with the border crisis, the immigrants. There's a lot of disarray and a lot of concern about a civil war happening in America. As a matter of fact, what they're saying is that a lot of the immigrants who are coming over the borders are what they consider a military age men. And I thought that very interesting that they would associate them for no other reason than their age as being soldiers. Military age men coming across America's border. And of course, on top of that, they are saying, but not only that, they're giving them, credit cards, which is true. They're giving them housing, that's true. They're giving them all kind of, assistance that they haven't given you, many of you. And so now they're stroking up this animosity. They're getting everybody lathered up. We need to do something about this. We need to protect our borders. We need to get the truckers. We need to get the National Guards. We need to get the militias. Now tell me something, brothers and sisters. If you wanted to start a civil war, isn't that something that you would do with the people who are in a particular country? Tell them, you guys are being invaded. There's an invasion coming. And if you don't like it, then you need to do something about it. Don't trust your government, because your government's not going to do anything. So you need to take, the situation. You need to take action, right? You need to fix it. You need to solve it. And what does that mean? So let's get the American citizenry pissed off at the immigrants that are coming here. And then let's have them start attacking the immigrants. Then the immigrants start to fight back, and then you got your whole beautiful narrative played out. Create enough animosity. What's the Hegelian dialect? Create the problem, come up, problem, action, solution. Create the problem, come up with an action to bring about a solution that your action created in the first place. So they create the problem, tell you how to react to the problem, right? Get your guns. Your government's not going to do anything about it, so you do something about it. While your government's sitting right back there, just looking down at everyone and just playing you like a violin, just playing us like suckers. Because truly, if your government had a problem, then if your government was the reason these people are being allowed to come across these borders, right? Then shouldn't our problem be with the government, not the immigrants? Shouldn't we be protesting in D.C. or at every state house, at every local council house, at your local city hall? Shouldn't that be where we start the problem versus, attacking or being lathered up to start to attack immigrants who, quite frankly, are doing what most of us would do under similar circumstances. If you had an opportunity to take care of your children, take care of yourself by going across a border to what has always been known for the last 100 years as the most prosperous country on the earth, you wouldn't take advantage of it? You wouldn't do it? And let us not forget that America is the cause of a lot of these countries having a shitty economy in the first place. Because they were the ones who went in there and put their puppet leaders in those countries. And those countries just robbed and pillaged those people, their natural resources, their minerals, gave it to the rich elite, and then put those people in situations where it's impossible to survive. And then cultivated guns and drugs and selling of guns and drugs to those countries. America is the #1 arm producer in the world. Let's not forget that. Let us not forget that, okay? So where do you think they're getting their guns from? Talking about the so-called cartels. But these are the things that, again, they want the simple not to realize. They don't want the simple to think about these things. So guess what? I don't think my brothers and sisters are simple. I think we're highly intelligent. I think we can make great decisions with the right necessary information. But if you go back and you look and you put all these things together, you start connecting these dots, you're going to find out, brothers, we're being played. America is being played. Now, granted, I'm not taking y'all hands out of this. Y'all said he would turn, the neighbors against mothers against their daughters, sons against their fathers, right? Brothers against brothers. So there is, a judgment component associated with this. No question about that. But in the meantime, in the here and now, you need to be asking yourself the question, what you're going to do about it. I mean, who were the producers behind Leave the World Behind? At least the executive producers. At least one of them were they were the Obamas. Again, another black man who knows some things, just like the character played in the movie Leave the World Behind. Oh, and let's not forget the bunkers, the prepping, the food, the supplies. See all that going on right now? Again. So brothers and sisters, this is what I'll say. The immigrant situation, a lot of that is propaganda. I'm not saying them coming across the borders. They're being allowed to come across the borders, but they're being financed and taken care of to provoke animosity. And they're thinking that you're just simple enough to start attacking other people who are just trying to find a better way for themselves, just like many of you would do under the same circumstances, and having us turn on each other versus us turning on the government who's actually giving them the resources, making it a lot more enticing to come across the borders. Okay? And then again, but one other thing. Louisiana now is talking about putting the National Guard because crime is so bad in the state of Louisiana. Many other states are following suit, by the way. And again, if you think about it, defund the police. What was that all about? Who pushed that agenda? Your liberals, right? That's who pushed that agenda. Now you're beginning to see why they pushed it. Defund the police. Now they're not enough police protection in the cities, so now it gives them a convenient excuse now to do what? Declare martial law on the people. Again, playing most of us like suckers. Not us, because they're not playing me. I don't think they're playing many of you either. Share this video, thumb it up if you agree, and at least if you can see the comparison that I'm giving. And now they're saying, okay, we need martial law. Y'all know what that means. The banks are falling, internet is falling, communication is down. The cities are in danger, crime is on the rise. We need a military, and where we gonna put these people? Let's see. We gotta find a place to put them, right? Oh, I remember. There was a place a while back that they were building places all over, big warehouses that were shutting down and being fenced off, and CCTV cameras were being placed all over these closed down warehouses because of theft or whatever reason they need to close these warehouses down. The letters FEMA, camp, strike a bell to anybody? The coffins building up all over the place, does that strike a bell? The ordering of guillotines, that was the Obama administration. Does that ring a bell? Jed Helm, look that up. The military exercises they were doing inside of the urban cities, New York, Las Vegas, Chicago. Just, again, something to compare and contrast. Because at the very end of that movie, you saw something fell from the sky. It was an explosion. Quite frankly, it was an attack. Oh, and if you remember, they said, oh, they're attacking each other in the cities. The other governments around the world, what they did is they got the people in the cities to fight one another. Get it? You see it now? You see it? Is it clear to you now, brothers and sisters? Or a little bit clearer? Again, ultimately, you got to do what you got to do. I get it. It's up to you. But like Joshua 24:15 said, y'all can do whatever you want to do. And I say this respectfully to everyone. But I know those in the DFG family, I know what we're going to do. We're going to serve Yah. We're going to keep his commandments. We're going to get our crap together. And we'll get the hell out of Dodge as soon as Yah give us the direction. That's what we're going to do. What about you? That's what we're going to do. And the last thing I'll say to my brothers and sisters, tomorrow Shabbat, especially you brothers, I got a strong message for the men. Daughters of Zion, sisters, you're welcome to obviously to listen in. But brothers, you want to listen in. Because there's some things that we need to talk about in an open format. And I think you want to hear this if you want to survive, this devastation to come. Okay? That being said, my brothers and sisters, thank you for listening. Again, let's go to Proverbs 4:7 with all you say. Wisdom is the principal thing. Wisdom is the principal thing. But what all you're getting, get an understanding. Wisdom not going to do you any good if you don't have an understanding how to apply that wisdom. That's what this channel, that's what your brother's about. That's what your elders about. All right, brothers, get ready. Be prepared. Yesterday could have been a disaster. What if those phones didn't come? What if all the phones went down? That can happen. Do you have a backup plan? I do. Shalom.